Welcome back to the interview. My name is Kimberly Williams. We're going to be talking with Haas G, born Carlos Evans, aka Fantom of the Beat. He's one of Staten Island's finest. Haas G was a part of the 1990s rap duo group, the U.M.Cs, and he is accredited to producing the hit Magic Stick with Lil KIm featuring 50 Cent. He is one of the defining trailblazers, along with Bush Babies, Cypress Hill, Tribe Called Quest, Fushnikins, Laws of the Underground, and so many more. Today we're going to just talk to him about what his latest projects are. I know he's producing and he's working on a number of different things with various artists. So let's get right into it with Fantom of the Beats.
Yo, son.
What up?
The other night at that spot, yo, I recognized that light.
What? Put some Haas in there.
I have it on record also.
Alright. Recording. I don't want to record. So, I'm trying to find...
There you go. I see you now.
Okay.
I'm just going to turn your music down just a little bit while we get started. Welcome to the interview. Welcome back.
Alright, we're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again. I have to tell you, I really, really enjoyed our conversation on, I think, was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
That was a wonderful conversation. I actually walked away feeling really good about the conversation and feeling just great talking to you and learning about you and everything, and I was just like really blown away with
Good.
the level of your expertise in your industry. So, you know, I'm just going to start off, and I just want you to tell me a little bit about how you got into hip hop.
Got you. Alright, so I'm good. I'm ready. I was waiting for this one. Yep.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about how you got into hip hop. I mean, you got some Billboard hits here. I know you're producing, and you're getting your music back out there. I went on your YouTube page, and you got a lot of videos out there that you've been doing. You look absolutely fabulous. And I don't like getting into like controversial stuff because it kind of takes away of who the artist is. Mm-hmm. I want you to tell me a little bit about who you are and how did you get into hip hop?
Oh man. So first of all, what up, Kim? How you doing? Chilling?
I'm you know what, I'm doing all right. You know, it's been a tough week. How about you? Have you had a good week though?
Yeah, I'm good considering, you know, but you know, we taking it stride and we keep it moving, and you know, we just hit the circuit and we come to the people, and you know what I mean, and just deliver what we got for the week, deliver what went down, how it goes down, why it goes down, you know. So we here, but you know, hip hop for a lot of people, you know, who probably don't know, it's a culture. You know, it's not just the music. So, you know, me personally getting into hip hop, it started like in the way early 80s, you know, when, you know, I was breakdancing, writing graffiti on the wall, on the trains, DJing, you know. So those are some of the things that led up to me becoming a rapper, an MC, and part of the group, you know, that came from Staten Island first, called the U.M.Cs. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's how it all started. That was my pathway to who I am now. So, you know, it's a lot of history in that. You know, there's a whole lot of breakdowns in between all of that, you know what I mean, that, you know, I guess eventually we'll get into some of that, you know, definitely, just to pinpoint certain areas that, you know, like now, a lot of people don't know who I really am, the alias that I go by, and that's just because it wasn't really, you know, put out there like that. You know, I kept it kind of low key, you know, but by the time people found out that, yo, that's Haas G from the U.M.Cs, you know, aka the Fantom, you know, it hit big, it hit good. And I'm pretty happy with my transition from MCing to producer. Let me not get ahead of myself because I know you got the questions to ask. But
Well, no, that's okay because I really need you to break it down for people who's going to be watching this video about who you are. I know some people are going to be really familiar with the U.M.Cs, but introducing Fantom,
right.
it's definitely what we want to do because we want you to kind of be a little separate from who you are now. But
Mm-hmm.
you can never run from your past. U.M.Cs is
To me, it's basically an alter ego. You know what I mean? It's just like I probably got three of them.
Mhm,
I can't even call it. I got Haas G, I got Fantom of the Beat. The Fantom,
mhm.
and I got my regular day to day. Family, personal life. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. So
we wear different hats all day.
exactly we do. So like how did you get introduced to the U.M.Cs?
That's funny because I mean I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York,
Hmm.
and at that time I was young, 14, 15 years old when you got to move where your parents are moving to. My mom decided, she had enough of being in Brooklyn, and her new husband, which I was still living with, they all decided to move to Staten Island. So that for me, that was already a no-no. Like, what the hell am I going to do in Staten Island? I'm not a Staten Island person. I'm a Brooklyn dude.
Hmm.
But I had to get in where I fit in out there, and I had to just ride it out until I was old enough or grown enough to make my way back. You know, but getting out in Staten Island, it was. I got out there. I went to junior high school out there. Um, And out there, the kids, it was a lot of Brooklyn kids that moved out to Staten Island. And there was a lot of the culture being really, really developed out there, unknown to a lot of people, across the water. Staten Island had its own thing going on already. So moving out there and running into the MCs and the dopest graffiti writers and the dopest DJs and break dances. We had our own little, thing going on out there. And that's where I ran into my partner, Lil KIm, which we went to different high schools. And, you got friends, associates that, mind you, Staten Island is kind of small. When I say small, I'm talking about the particular, you know, genre, the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all know each other. Whoever's a part of the society that gets things done, we're all, you know what I mean? I know this one, they know that one. They
Right.
know him, I know her. So that's how Staten Island was. It was just, you know, we all were family, to an extent. So nothing got past anybody, you know. And that's basically how I met my partner because, like I said, we went to different high schools and whatnot. But in each high school, you got the same people,
Hmm.
the same people that do the same things. So in my high school, you got the dopest rappers or the dopest graffiti writers, you know what I mean, or the dopest DJs. The high school, blocks away, they got the same thing. Who's their dopest, in this or that or a third. So that's
Hmm.
basically how we came about to meet up because we were both, excellent at what we do, and
Hmm.
we were like the top, within our own community. So that being said, it just came to a point where eventually we had to meet up, because you had battles going on, who's the sickest, who's the dopest, and that's what happened. His friends put him against me, my friends put me against him, and we just realized at one point, like, hey, we could do something better out of this. None of us is doper than the other. We both good. We both bring things to the table. Let's form this group and let's call it U.M.C's. And from there it was a little bit of history. We ended up working at the same place, which was Statue of Liberty.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a thrill in its own. Um, Actually, a lot of the Wu members worked there as well. That's
Wow. So
Yeah.
what does the UMC stand for?
Oh, U.M.C's originally stands for Undisputed Master of Charisma.
Okay.
So, then we just did a wordplay on it. So it became like, whatever you wanted it to be. But the foundation was Undisputed Master of Charisma. Then it was Understanding Many Concepts. And it went from many different name changes inside, and then it finally, at the end of it all, it was the usage may change. That's what summed it up.
Mm-hmm.
So we was a fun group. You know what I mean? We like to play with words. We were real smart, real articulate. That was a time where there was a whole lot of I want to say conscious, rap that was going on when we came out in '91.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't want to be so conscious that we didn't allow or we didn't facilitate the crews and the peoples and the public to be able to dance and party and have a good time in the club. So, we just came across with a real deep sense of content, but with crazy beats that still had you rocking. You know what I'm saying? Still had the club jumping. And I guess that comes from, like, we both have a dancer's background. Prior to being U.M.Cs, you would have found us in a whole bunch of different rap videos. That's how we made our, stake in the game. We started running around doing videos, hanging out at the clubs, meeting this artist, that artist, meeting, the people that made the machine move. So, that was our climb. That was definitely our climb.
So when you say dancing, like, was you break dancing or was you like, what kind of dancing?
We did it all. Like club life was our life back then. That was our thing. That's how we stayed off of Staten Island. We weren't stuck on Staten Island. We moved around a whole lot, and we were in the clubs a lot. We had some of the biggest clubs. When you saw a lot of those movies, those hip hop movies, and all of that sparked in the '90s, late '80s or whatever. And they had all those club dancing scenes and stuff like that. That was us. We was choreographing. Yeah, we choreographed a few of the dances and all of that. And that's the life we was living, And so it was the break dancing, it was the club dancing. We were big house heads back then. We loved house music, and not to mention a whole lot of the circuit, a whole lot of the people in the music industry, they was all up in there too as well. A lot younger, but that was the level. From there, we jumped levels and transitioned from dances to spots and videos to just getting into the game of music. And that's U.M.C's. That's their story.
So do you still got some of those moves now? Can you like?
I don't even play. I might break a hip. Not what we was doing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we was crazy. Now I'm just on my 1-2 step. That's it. I'm cool now. I'm cool. I'll make the music for you so you can dance.
Yeah. I mean, you're very creative. I've been listening to your music the last couple of days. What would you say, like, your first song? What was it like getting your first song together with the group?
I think that was pretty. It was pretty easy. Like, me and my partner Kim, we really didn't have a gripe at any point when it came to creating. We were both on the same page for the most part. And even if there was something that somebody had to suggest, the other one would listen with open ears. So it was never a problem, coming together and creating that first song. We were both on the same plane. We both thought alike for the most part. And it was just a matter of nobody was selfish or stingy. Let's come up with something together, and let's go from that point on.
So it was a good partnership, basically.
It was a great partnership.
That's awesome.
Great partnership. There was no egos involved. We were both so hungry just to get to the world,
Yeah.
Like, you know, we weren't the ones that wanted to stay on the block. You know, we had to get out, you know, and experience what's out there. So, you know, we just figured that, you know, two of us could do it better than just one. You know, we both got, you know, I got a whole bunch of ideas. He had a whole bunch of ideas. We both had multiple resources that we put together, and we just ran out of there and attacked. You know, we had to make presence known.
So what was it like putting your own music together? Since you kind of like doing your own thing right now, what was that like compared to?
Um, I well, it was an evolution
Yeah.
situation. You know, I mean, we came out with our first album called Fruits of Nature, which we charted. You know, we charted twice. So you know, we had a song called Blue Cheese, and
Mm-hmm.
we also had a song called One to Grow On, and they both hit Billboard.
Yep, they were you're both on a billboard. I mean, there's a lot of people that can't even make the billboard right now.
Yeah, I know. They can't even make the mixtape top 10. Right.
Yeah,
But
it's
it was
amazing.
that was a grand intro. That was a grand, you know, opening up for the U.M.Cs. And you know, at that time we did a lot of the work ourselves as far as production, you know, writing, all of that was done in house. And, you know, that is really when I started realizing that I'm actually a producer, you
Hmm.
know, not just a artist, a rapper. I'm actually making the joints for the album. You know what I mean? For both albums that we had. We had another album called Unleashed right after, which, you know, that story is that's a hard pill to swallow story. You know, because by the time that second album came with the record label, things were just uproar, you know. So, you know, those are growing pains of the music industry. But yeah, I realized I was a producer, and like I said, we stretched it out. We went as long as U.M.Cs could go at that point in time. And then it just comes a time where you gotta, you know, you love this music, you know, to death. You don't want to leave it alone. You really can't leave it alone because it's embedded. It's embedded in your heart and soul. So the next thing that you do, which there's a lot of artists that came out, they've done this. It's called reinvention,
Hmm.
you know, and that's just basically you fall back a little bit. You know, you analyze what you did up until that point in time when it's time for you to reinvent, and you know, you study the road, you study the lay of the land, and you figure out, okay, I did it this way that time. You know, I'm still young. You know, I might be even riper right now, ready to go. So how am I going to do it this time around? You know, you learn from all your mistakes, and then you come back blazing. You know, so that's what I ended up doing. You know, I went from DJing to rapping, and then at the end of the day, I realized production is what I wanted to do. So, you know, hence I'm here now. And since I made the transformation, you know, it's been a good ride. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's been ups, it's been downs. But coming back into the game as a producer, you know, I did it different because I was already on the road with a lot of artists, you know, because we toured with them. We were
Right.
U.M.C. So
Right.
I knew artists. I knew people in the game already.
Hmm.
So it wasn't like I'm a brand new producer coming on the set or a brand new person coming on the set. I already got my hands reaching all over with a whole lot of different people. So it was easy for me to step to Buster, you know what I mean? And just be like, look, I got some tracks for you. I want you to hear them. You know, let's see if we could get some work together. And you know, that was easy. That was an easy reach, and that's how it started happening.
What
But
was it
like
like working with Busta Rhymes? I mean, what was that like? You know.
it was just uh, a straight animated session. Like like you know, there's no time for sleeping, nodding off. You know what I mean? There's constant noise. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It's just jubilee. It's party. It's just a party all night long in the studio. You know what I mean? Until the record is done.
Hmm.
Um, Buster's a very very animated person. You know, and that too, I guess, kind of allowed us to be together because UMCs were that type of group as well. So if you ever saw Leaders of the New School on stage,
Mm-hmm.
you know that LONS, they had a real wild active show. And UMCs fell in that same genre, right along
Right.
with Onyx, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? UMCs, uh, Leaders of the New School. You know, we had shows that really exploded when we got on stage.
Mm-hmm.
That comes from all that knowing how to dance, knowing how to move, knowing how to wild out when it's time. You know what I mean? So we
Mm-hmm.
were all in that area. We were all creative like that. So by the time I got in the studio with Bus, it was like we're cut from the same cloth.
Right.
So it was easy just to get in, fall in, do what got to be done, and come out with something, you know, something called "Take It Off," which is
Do you see
on.
any future projects with Buster? Maybe.
I don't know. I can't call it. This game is so up and down. It's not like we can't. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Right.
just a matter of the opportune time, and especially now, you see what's going on. All this
Right.
this COVID is happening. It's keeping people, you know, abreast, you know, in a way, you know, and everybody's just trying to gather their thoughts and get their creative juices flowing right now. So, you know, it's always an opportunity. As long as we are alive and on God's green earth and breathing, you know, we still dealing with our craft. Yeah, it's an opportunity to work again. So I have no problem with that. But at the same time, you don't waste time chasing down everybody. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that you come in right and exactly. You got all your ducks, you know what I mean, lined up in a row and all of that. So I guess that's basically where I'm at right now, especially for what's going on in the world. You know, I'm just here creating, trying to make sure that my next step is my best step, you know, and yeah, just like
You know,
that.
like we talked about the other day, like this is the best time if you're, you know, the artist. This is the time to be creative and to let your juices flow because everybody's basically doing the same thing. You know, you either at home writing, reading, or trying to hone in on the skills that you have and make it better because can nobody go to a club right now? We kind of talked about this. You
Yeah,
made some you made some great points about, you know, what you
the new
should be
music.
doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of the new music nowadays talking about, you know, and this been going on for the last couple of years. Everybody talking about it's either money, it's either up in the club, it's either bottles, it's either strippers. Now what you gonna do? We ain't going to no clubs right now. You know what I mean? We
Exactly.
ain't popping no bottles in the club. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that whatever we doing, zooming, viraling, and all of that, it ain't the same thing popping a bottle on camera and just, you know, pouring it out for your people that's watching. That ain't gonna do it right now, you know.
Right.
So you
Exactly.
know, I can't even, you know, there ain't no smell coming through the screen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't know what's happening over there. But
Yeah.
basically, this is a time to reflect. This is a time to hone in on your master, you know, your masterpieces, and you know, get into your psyche, figure out what your next move is going to be. You know, there's a lot of things going on that you know we need to be aware of, be conscious of. You know, we living in a much deeper time right
Hmm.
now, and as far as I know and remember, and me being a part of it uh, in its early stages, hip hop was always a tool for teaching. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Hip hop
do.
was always that, and that was that was hip hop was the voice of the inner city youth. You know, who weren't privy to have walking the block with two, three, $4,000 in their pocket at a time, and a Bentley parked on the corner or a yacht. You know what I mean,
Mhm.
at the harbor. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
do. I do. I do. And you know, like even with you saying that, like being conscious, you know, I come from a time where like my idols are Yo-Yo. My idols are MC Light, Queen
mm-hmm.
Latifah, Ladies First, you know, people like that, you know, um, NWA, you know, I'm a big fan of theirs. KRS-One,
It was a lot of content
a lot of
in
content.
a lot of those songs, and I mean nowadays it's not much that content is being focused on. It's really feeling that's being focused on. What kind of feeling that could be invoked in people. You know, I mean, music is supposed to invoke feeling, but right now the feelings and the messages are kind of like, kind of lame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do if I turn the radio on and hear another Up in the Club record, or you know what I'm saying?
I do, I do. What are some of the things that you do when you're producing a beat, when you're, working on music and things like that? Like, for me, even when I'm in a TV studio, I like to have candles lit or just set the ambience. What are some of the things that you kind of do to get your juices flowing?
I mean, me personally, uh, here's a day of me making a joint, or really just getting into production. You know, get up, you know, get a nice light breakfast, couple of push-ups, you know what I mean? Take a shower, get dressed, and I need to go outside.
Hmm.
That's basically that's when I start getting inspired. You know what I mean? Before I do anything, I like to take a walk, you know what I'm saying? Just check out the neighborhood, see what's going on. Um, just move around, go grab a smoothie or something, enjoy the outside for a little bit. Then I tell myself, okay, I soaked up enough of this out here. Let me go inside. So I go in, I might listen to a few albums. I love albums. I collect albums. So I got a whole bunch of throwback albums, from 60s all the way on up.
Wow.
And I just start getting into zone, just listening to music, just listening to why they did what they did, or who was it for at the time. It could be a love song that I just heard, and you know what, I'm in that zone right now. I want to make a banging love song for now. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah, yeah.
it was the rally the people up song. You know what I mean? Something by the OJs or the Temptations that had everybody wilding out. So you know what? That's the mood I'm in right now. I see what's going on around me, so I need to make a radical beat. Something that's just gonna excite everybody and get the club jumping crazy. You know what I mean? But I would just hope that the lyricist that's on it come with the best of content.
Have you did any protesting and marching? I know you understand. You seen the horrendous video of George Floyd getting
So, yeah,
murdered. Were you able to watch that video? It took me
yeah,
a
I've
couple of
seen it.
days.
I saw the video, and I thought it was real. It was really intense. It was really, really. It took me for a ride mentally, because
Yeah,
I couldn't understand how it was a blatant act. You know what I'm saying? It was a deliberate, blatant act. Like at any point in time, the pressure on his neck could have been relieved, but
absolutely.
it just looked like money. Just I don't care.
Yeah,
And what? And what? You know what I'm saying? So that was spit in my face. That was spit in all of our faces.
it
You know
was.
what I'm saying?
Truly was.
So, and that's enough to get people really, really riled up. You know what I mean? If you ain't been fed up enough, I mean, we done seen it. We saw a lot going on throughout the last 400 and a half years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
400 years and better. It's even more than 400 years, because, we just stay with those terms, those numbers, but it's even been way past that. But
Yeah.
we saw a lot go on, and it's numerous, countless times that we've seen some things that was just thrown right in our faces, and you know moves were trying to be made or trying to be met, but at that point in time it just wasn't enough. I think now it feels a little different.
Yeah, it
I
does.
think uh we're speaking in volumes right now.
I agree.
So back to that whole marching and protesting and all of that. I'm not really physically out there like that. I'm a real computer guy. I like to do my internet stuff and all of that. I offer my support in that manner. But running these streets right now and battling cops and all of that, I don't really. It's not that I don't got time for it, but I'm not built that way.
I
I'm built
know. I get it.
to, it's this that they say it's a young man's sport to do all that right now. I'm not saying I'm old, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is I can help. I think my help shows improves in a different manner, in a
Yeah, I
different
mean,
way.
you look really, really good. I mean, you look very good. So trust me,
Thank you.
I can't even see you being past 30 right now. So
Wow. I appreciate it. I gotta get this hair off though. This is
it's okay. You
this
look
is
good.
COVID, this is COVID hair.
That's all right. That's all right. You're taking good care of yourself, and I
Thank
mean,
you.
a lot of people don't look as good as you that's been in the rap game. I mean, you look great. You know, you're
Thanks.
still doing your thing, and you know, maintaining your family and
Yeah.
maintaining yourself, and you know, doing whatever you got to do to survive, as we all. But just to
Yep.
switch up speeds a little bit, tell me what it was like working on the Magic Stick with Lil KIm. You know, you helped produce that. That's,
Yeah. Nah, I didn't help. I produced it.
okay.
I didn't write the lyrics. They did their own lyrics. But that was
Produced that.
there's a nice story behind that. And this story, a lot of I guess producers out there, you know, they need to take this one into consideration. This is one to grow on. All right, so we're gonna do it like that.
Okay.
So basically, I was in the crib and I came across this sample, you know, and I figured, yo, I could do something with this. I don't know what it's gonna be or how I'm gonna get it out, but I'm gonna do it. And a lot of the times when I'm producing, I'm not always alone. You know, I have a couple of people around me. You know, either they chilling, they having a drink. You know, they're communicating back and forth. You know, maybe playing video games. Just doing what they do as a couple of homies that's just around while I'm busy and doing what I do. All right, so I make this beat, and by the end of it, one of my mans, you know, he just gave me the straight, it's garbage. And no holds barred. He just said, yo, get rid of that. Start all over. Do something else. That's not good. So I'm sitting there, and mind you, I usually don't throw anything away because I never know. You know what I mean? One man may, and the other one may not like it. So, you know, I saved it. I tucked it away. You know what I mean? I continue. I get some more stuff. But my cousin, he was 50's DJ at the time. So this is before he signed to. This is right when he signed to Dre, actually 50. And my cousin said, "Yo, 50's looking for new joints." So that one that was tossed to the toilet by my homie. That particular beat I gave to my cousin, and sure enough, probably like 2-3 days later, I got a call back. 50 wants that beat. So you see, this is why you don't throw nothing away, and this is why you don't listen to everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I didn't, because that became one of the biggest records that I ever did. You know what I mean? And if I would have threw it away that day, I would have had a whole different story to be telling right now. If I would have even been here right now.
Right. I mean, cause that song was the jam. I don't even need nobody rapping on that one. Just listening to the music itself was like, I got it's just like it's real catchy and.
Thanks. It was soulful, you know what I mean? I'm one of those producers. I love soul, you know what I mean? I love thickness, heaviness, nice drums, bass, and a little something in the middle that just keeps everybody captivated.
Tell us about some of your projects that you got going on right now.
Oh, right now, I mean, so when I came into the production side of everything and started doing my records, everything was basically pinpointed. So there was Busta Rhymes, big record. There was when Ghost came back from his trip being incarcerated. I did his first single, which was Apollo Kids. That was a real big record for the street. And the next pinpoint was Magic Stick for 50 and Kim, you know, with two of the top MCs at the time, male and female, you know, so that worked out for me. And then since then, I've just done so many different records, so much different production that it got me to a point where what's the next level from being just a producer? I figured, you know, my next step is becoming an executive producer, which means, you know, in detail, it's putting together projects, you know, not just doing one-off production tracks for a particular artist. This one is putting together projects, pulling together artists, making and creating an album. So basically, that's the path that I took. And, you know, as of now, I got an album, a producer's album called Audio Drone. It's out all over, you know, wherever you stream, wherever you download, Spotify, you know, Tidal. It's all over the place.
So when they look up you, they look up Fantom of
the Beat presents Audio Drone.
Okay.
And that's Fantom with an F. F-A-N. It's F-A-N-T-O-M of the Beat presents Audio Drone. And you'll see us all over. Traction is good. You know, what I did was I went to the lab and I put together, you know, a bunch of various artists from, you know, R&B, hip hop, reggae, you know.
All right, reggae, hey.
Yeah, that's the roots right there. We got those roots.
Yeah.
So I put that together, and you know, a mixture of different artists, you know, men, women, kids, you know what I'm saying? When I say kids, I really mean just, you know, maybe a younger kid or two, you know what I mean? From, you know, a generation, you know, after mine's or whatever. And yeah, so I got that album out right now and it's doing its thing. So, you know, my plan, you know, and what I'm looking for in the grand scheme of things is to actually, you know, run and own a label and bring forth new talent, bring forth, you know, the kind of music that I love to hear and I think the people need to hear right now.
Well, I know right now you're speaking into existence, and the interview, I will be there to support you all the way. I love Brooklyn. So I'm telling you, you're welcome to come to Chicago, and we'll love to have you in the studio when everything is over with. And we want to
I love Chicago too, not just for the gangsterism, because Chicago got a lot of gangsterism going on, even from the 20s. You know what I mean? I watch all the old gangster movies. You know what I mean? I love Chicago. That's one of my that's where, you know, it's upbeat at. You know, Chicago, Detroit, you know, L.A. You know what I mean? I love those spots because they talk a lot. You know what I mean? They went down in history. They still got history to make, but you know, those are a lot of the influential spots that, you know what I mean? They were saying something and still are. So,
I'd love to get you in front of like some kids and things like that, so you can motivate them and speak with them and let them know like some things they should be doing, because I mean you're a trailblazer. And I talked to you about this the other day. You know, I have so much respect and honor you so much for everything that you've done, because without you, hip hop wouldn't be what it is right now. You know, it's like hats off to you, because you're a part of who paved the way for where we are today. You know, a lot of the music is not so good, but I mean, you've worked with like some of the most amazing people, you know, Trey Songz and, you know, R. Kelly. You work with some amazing people. So definitely I want to make sure that the interview recognizes you for who you are and for paving the way for us.
I mean, without you, you know, and others like you, it's the platform, you know what I mean, that allows us to get to the people. Like I do public speaking every once in a while. I pop up, you know, when I'm invited to events, and you know, I kick it with the kids, and You know, I drop a couple of jewels on them, you know, just to keep them motivated and going. I mean, we weren't handed this. We had to fight for it. We had to work for it. You know, mama didn't have money like that. You know what I mean, for us to pursue. But we made a way to pursue what we wanted, and we went after it. And you know, we made a niche. So I'm very grateful for the gift that I got, and for the ability to, you know, exercise it daily, you know, and to pass it on to the peoples. But like I said earlier, you know, there's been a disconnection at one point in this music game, man. You know, a lot of our, you know, former elite crew that came out, you know, I think there should have been some moves that should have been made to really, you know, lock down where we really stand in this music game, you know. And one of those is, you know, distribution. If we don't have the you know, the machine to distribute records that we love and like, we're subject to, you know, whoever owns the distribution companies. And when you think about it, it's not a lot of black people who own distribution companies. You know what I'm saying?
But it's still time. I mean, you're still a young man. You got time to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. So, you know, but like I said, I think that truthfully, I think it, but in all reality, this is as God planned it. So this is the way it went. You know what I mean? But I wish some of us that came before could have, you know, grasped, you know, a tighter rein on a lot of things and just made sure that the road was paved a little bit more. So I guess that's the job that I'm trying to, you know, grab right now, and, you know, just make sure that I make it a little bit easier for the ones to come next. Yeah. You know, that's basically that's the duty of a father. You know, really, you trying to make things easier for your kids as they come. You know, so they could travel a less, you know, a less, for lack of better words, fucked up terrain. You understand what I'm saying?
Like, no, I do. I understand. You know, that's what I'm trying to do too. I'm trying to present a platform to other young women, you know, so they'll know that you can executive produce and create your own show without actually having to go through someone on TV, because my show is actually on TV, but it's on local TV. But I'm not run by anybody. I just use somebody else's TV studio, you know, because I want to be able to have the guests that I want to have, and have the platform that's for Black people, so they can speak freely and not have to worry about, oh no, don't say that or don't say that, because this is for my kings and queens to come on and talk about who they are.
And don't forget, everybody started somewhere. So, you know, the owners of these networks today, they didn't start there, you know. They probably had a little extra push or whatever, but in the beginning, it all starts out just a little slow. You know what I mean? But integrity and loyalty is what allows you to get to the next step, you know?
Absolutely. Amen to that. Thank you.
Believe in what you do, and you know, you just gotta have patience, you know. I liken myself to the tortoise and the hare. That's the story that I stay with, because, you know what I mean, you can move so fast and miss all around you. You know what I mean? But sometimes slow and steady wins the race. And, you know, at this point in time, I have no regrets on how I've been moving. You know, any mistakes I've learned from, any people that didn't I say benefit the situations that had to get cut off or whatever, I'm not angry at. You know, I just keep it moving and just know for the next time how to make sure to avoid certain situations. And
I mean, you touching me right now, because like everything you're saying is what I've been thinking, but it's almost like you're saying what I've been thinking, and you know, I just got to keep on doing what I'm doing and keep my integrity in place while I do it.
And
And
that's called affirmation,
it's
because somebody said, you know, a lot of what I'm saying right now, but they said it to me at a point in time where I was already almost ready to just be like, I'm sick of this. I'm finished. You know what I mean? But at the right time, the words came, and I heard it. I heard it loud and clear, and it told me, nah, see, this is what you was feeling. So look, listen here, and go add here, and go do what you're supposed to do.
tell my viewers where they can find you at on Instagram real quick too.
Hey, viewers. So check it out. My name is Haas G. U.M.C's, aka Fantom of the Beat, Heat for the Street. You can go to my Instagram and catch me at Fantom of the Beat on Instagram, and that's Fantom with an F, Fantomny. No, NY. That's something else. Fantom of the Beat. All right, Fantom of the Beat. On Facebook, you can catch me at FOTB_Fantom. So that's FOTB_Fantom. That's Facebook.
And what's that symbol behind you? Is that something you created?
Oh yeah, that's the F. When you see, well, my man, one of my homies that I grew up with, and from junior high school on up, you know what I mean? We all grown men now, but he's an excellent artist. He's a painter. And I'm talking not, you know, sitting in the house painting. I'm talking about galleries and art exhibits, and he's a you know, a renowned painter. And he decided to do that for me. And I actually used that for the cover of my first album that I just put out, Audio Drone.
Okay,
So,
it's beautiful.
Thank you. And I mean, if you take a good gander at it, you see the curtains, the purple curtains, and the F, which is almost, you know, I could say similar to Phantom of the Opera,
Mm-hmm.
and the shows, and how they have the real thick, dark curtains. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was a theatrical piece, and I'm appreciative for that.
And it's great. I love it. Whenever I see that come up, I'm like, okay, I'm right here. I'm right where I need to be when I see that F come up.
Nice. This piece right here actually is gonna be priceless, because that's the type of heirloom that you pass down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the original painting. You know what I mean? Glossied out and everything. You got to see the strokes on it. It's crazy.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a real painting. So, you know, I love that piece. I'm very, very proud of it. I think my man U.M.C who did it for me.
Well,
But,
you
yeah.
ever come to Chicago, you know, definitely just know that we're going to treat you so good. You're going to enjoy yourself, and you come with your crew, whatever, you know. When the studio is open, you come. We set you up and roll out the red carpet for you. So I really enjoyed you taking time to speak with me today. Y'all go ahead and check out Fantom of the Beats, Haas G, and thanks for tuning in to the interview. Any last words?
Time it is. Yeah, if y'all still ain't get all of that, go Google Haas G. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot more information there. You know what I mean? That, you know, I'm not tooting my horn, but I'm just saying there's a lot more that if you're interested and you really, really want to know, and you know, you need more facts to go on. You know what I'm saying? I know Chi-Town's a big town that, you know, I know y'all probably practically worship Kanye out there. You know what I'm saying? But even Kanye, he had his start, and he had his, you know, people that he looked up to. And his style of music is one that I do appreciate, because it comes from where I'm from. You know what I mean? He's cut from the same cloth. You know, when Kanye came out, he was doing exactly what we did years prior. So, you know, this is just a world where you gotta go out there and grab it, be who you are, know what you want to do, and by all means excel. You know what I mean? Just focus on excelling.